Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know the people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. Yeah, we are the ones who are scared to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No. Get off his fucking neck! Don't let me shoot you! He can't fucking breathe! Don't let me shoot you! We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more.
Warning: this podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. If it's Thursday, you're tuned into the only show willing to admit I am not a man. I'm three honey badgers stacked on top of each other wearing a trench coat. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, the show where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. Today, as like most days, I've got a glorious panel here with me to break down the shit talking and shenanigan, fight announcements, and fuckery that has trickled out the MMA pipeline since we saw you wonderful folks last. So before we get into all that fun and fuckery, I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest, the Meter. Meter does many things if you're nasty. Gentlemen, how the hell are you two doing over there?
We're living the dream. Another hangover to a hangover to a hangover before we get anything decent again. But you know,
Oh shit.
at least this weekend I had plans.
There you go.
I feel a lot better than the last fucking weekend, that's for sure. There's a lot more fights on this card I can get behind. Last weekend turned out to be all right. 9 finishes, better than expected.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that. Definitely that. Absolutely. So, that being said, we will kick things off the way we like to around here with a little bit of news and recent events, fight confirmations, fight cancellations, important things in the combat sports world that we feel you guys need to know about. First and foremost, we actually tie into this weekend, not last weekend, for a change. First weekend in a while, we actually get to talk about relevant things and not having to drag backwards. So, unfortunately, it's not as pleasant as we'd like it to be. Estela Nunez found out last week that her visa would not be approved, and she was out of her fight this weekend against Molly. Luckily, the UFC found one of the Contender Series signees who was willing to step up on 6 days' notice to take this fight. So we always try and give a tip of the cap to anybody who takes a fight on short notice, especially under a week traveling across the world. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. And the two of them have already started going at it on social media. This girl is already talking all kinds of shit to Molly. So as long as she doesn't show up and just get absolutely fucking crushed, this could be a pretty good debut for this young lady. We'll see how it turns out. We got the official announcement that June 14th, as of now, has not been officially confirmed, but it is rumored that June 14th is going to be the UFC Atlanta card. They're supposedly going to be putting this into the main event. They haven't officially confirmed the card yet, so they can't officially confirm it as the main event just yet. But we are looking at Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick for the first fight announced, expected to be the main event on that card for UFC Atlanta, June 14th. Also taking place on June 14th, and then again, June 28th, will be the debut of a new organization. I guess it's kind of the same organization, but a new spinoff would be the right way to put it. BKFC Ice Wars. BKFC has now stepped into the world of legalized and sanctioned ice hockey fighting. Bare knuckle fights on ice. They have yet to confirm whether these fighters will or will not be wearing ice skates, but they will be wearing full hockey padding and gear and will be fighting on ice. There's a whole rule set. They've apparently got it sanctioned somehow in both Mount Pleasant, Michigan for the June 14th debut, and then in Alberta, Canada for the June 28th card. I didn't realize that this was even a thing, but apparently BKFC has found its own power slap. Equally as dumb, hopefully equally as ignored, but it's weird. It's fucking weird. We'll see how it actually plays out. One thing we did get an official confirmation from the UFC for this week, though, was going to be the UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi from the Etihad Arena. July 26th. So they are going back without bringing another pay-per-view over to the Middle East again. Kind of weird. This is, I think, the 4th or 5th time they've gone to the Middle East, and none of them have been pay-per-views this go around. So they can't be happy about that. I'm curious to see how they're going to stack that card, especially coming right out of International Fight Week as well. So the end of June, beginning of July is International Fight Week, where, prospectively, the biggest and most important fights happen and the most attention gets put on the UFC. And then the next big card they do, they're just going to go over to Abu Dhabi for a fight night afterwards. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. UFC Contender Series winner and contract signee Danilo Voivodkin, hell of a name, has officially had a 2-year suspension and his contract with UFC nullified before he ever got to step foot in the big cage. He has tested positive out of competition for Moldonium, something several other fighters have popped for recently, but in doing so before he ever actually made his UFC debut and getting this 2-year suspension. The UFC just instantly cut ties and sent his ass packing on down the road. So it's going to be interesting to see if that gentleman gets another chance anywhere or not. Last one I have got for this week. We've been waiting for it for, I think, 3 years now at this point, but it seems like there is finally some action being taken here. Next week, March 25th, the Nevada State Athletic Commission will officially hold a hearing for Jeff Molina and Derek Minner in regards to the James Krause betting scenario. They have both been indefinitely suspended from the UFC, as well as James Krause and anyone associated with them since this whole scandal broke loose. Now we are finally actually getting to a point where we are going to find out what's going to happen to Jeff Molina and Derek Minner, and possibly to what extent they were actually involved in this James Krause situation. Been a minute, but it's definitely something we all deserve to know at this fucking point. So we will see how that one plays out next week. That being said, though, that is what I have got for this week. Either one of you gentlemen have anything that I might have missed in the news world?
Ariel Hawani posted a handful of hours ago today. UFC, instead of going to Qatar later this summer, planning on going to Azerbaijan.
Interesting.
And then the headliner of that is rumored to be Kyoji Horiguchi versus Takeru Lembeka.
Interesting.
And there's also serious
I'm down for
thoughts that Rafael Fiziev would be on that card as well, since he resides in Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijani, yeah.
But yeah, the
Interesting.
UFC hasn't finalized the contract yet, but that's what Ariel put out today, that they're close to having a done deal re-signing Kyoji.
I mean, it would be a good fucking pickup, and that would make sense if they were going to put a fight card together over there. So interesting. Interesting indeed. So I'm here for it. Good shit. So that being said, before I forget, for another week, we're going to jump right into the combat sports menu for this upcoming weekend. Even though we do the show primarily running around the UFC's calendar, so does every other fight sports organization in the world, pretty much. So just to remind you all that the UFC is not the only game in town this weekend, give you a little taste of what you've got to look forward to here. So as is the case more often than not, bright and early, first thing tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, One Friday Fights 101. This is another one of those where they are just putting 2 MMA bouts on to open the card, and then you get 10 MMA fights in 4-ounce 10 Muay Thai fights in 4-ounce MMA gloves. This is another one. The casuals probably are not going to recognize many, if any, names on this card, but if you need to see somebody get knocked the fuck out with your coffee, these guys got you covered. That being said, moving on to tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Standard Time, Cage Warriors 186 from over in the O2 Arena. They are getting London fired up before the UFC comes in Saturday. Again, this is one of those European feeder organizations. This is the place where generally when you get the belt or you get to the top level of the company, you generally get that call from the UFC. The fact that they're going into the O2 Arena the night before the UFC does generally tells you they expect some good fights to be on this card. So something to keep an eye out for tomorrow afternoon. That being said, tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, BKFC Fight Night Philly goes down. There are a couple of interesting matchups on this card. There's a couple of fucking clowns on this card as well, but there are a couple of interesting matchups that could turn out to be pretty fucking fun if you need something to do later on tomorrow evening. That being said, Saturday afternoon, kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Standard Time, UFC Fight Night London, Edwards versus Brady kicks off, but that's not even the last card of the day, even of the weekend, because Saturday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, is LFA 204, going down from Connecticut this time around here. Another one, there's some names on this card that even the casuals will recognize. There's some former UFC fighters on this card. should be pretty interesting. But that is not even the last one of the night, because not to be outdone, one championship is closing the weekend as well with another card, technically, I say with air quotes, happening on Sunday, really just late Saturday night. It starts at 3 a.m. Eastern time, 2 a.m. Central Standard, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, however you want to look at it. It is number 172 from Saitama Super Arena in Japan. This one, 3 MMA fights, 3 Muay Thai fights, and 8 kickboxing matches. This one will be on YouTube for those of you up late Saturday night. 1FC bringing some fights all weekend long. That is what I have got for the combat sports. So remember, plenty going on this weekend. That being said, that'll bring us to the point in the show where if you've been watching combat sports for any amount of time, you develop a set of metaphorical blinders, so to speak, because you learn what you like, you learn when it comes on, you learn how to watch it, and you start to get in a groove, if you were. Lucky for us here, we've got ourselves a bona fide young person that's out there diligently keeping his finger delicately on the pulse of the MMA world, helping us learn about all the names that are going to be names before they are names, in a little segment that we call Slows, Cans, and Contenders.
Appreciate you, brother. So, I mean, we already know TJ's opinion on this. He said it earlier. He thinks this is another complete shit card. It's not complete shit compared to last week, though. There's some good, young, exciting kids on this card to look forward to that get to also make an appearance at home. And there are a few, if not a handful, of fights that could actually be what we consider a fight. A good old bar brawl, the kind of shit that I enjoy seeing. So I'll start with the trash, the obvious glaring trash. I had Estela Nunez and Molly in there. Now Estela Nunez pulled out, but I still have that fight in the trash. And Molly McCann, even if she can be fun and she is got the home crowd behind her, she is not the greatest fighter in the world. Let's just be honest here. And now she's fighting a young lady that's probably a lot more talented than Estela Nunez was or is. And I feel like she's gone and got herself into a more challenging situation here this weekend than she was in. The young lady she's fighting is 11-1. Got quite a few finishes. Seems fairly talented. And you got this short notice appearance. It's not looking good for Molly McCann here. Let me just say that. It looks like she might get embarrassed in front of the home crowd. Jai Herbert, same thing. Jai Herbert is not the greatest fighter in the world. He's had a couple of decent moments since he's gotten into the UFC, but I feel like he's going to get laid the fuck out again this weekend. And, you know, it's not the first time he's been knocked out in front of the home crowd. Same situation. You got Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tomar. Just that fight as a whole. So, in my opinion, both of the ladies' fights on this card, you just throw in the trash. I would like to say either one of these ladies are contenders because Bannon is from Ireland, Tomar from India, right? Like, that would be great to have a nice little star coming out of India. Sadly, no different than on the male side, like Anshul Jubilee coming out of India. They're not the greatest. They've made it to the UFC, but they're not the greatest fighters. I don't see this fight being an entertaining one, or either one of those ladies making it very far in their careers. You've got Calvin Loughran. That kid, he's already kind of come into the UFC, made his debut, shat the bed. I don't think he's one of the kids coming out of the Cage Warriors here that's got the same amount of potential as some of them. I think he's going to get wiped the floor with again this weekend against Nathan Fletcher. And then you got Marcin Tedbura. I'm just going to throw him in the trash there too. I think he's going to get laid out this weekend against McParkin. He's one of those kids I'm excited for this weekend. But Ty Burr, almost 40 years old. He's been back and forth the whole career. He looked good against the one young kid in his last fight. But Mick Parkin, I feel like, is a little bit more talented than Junata Denise kid. And if he pulls through, it'd be exciting. Have an undefeated 29-year-old in the heavyweight division. Because the heavyweight division is extremely weak. Probably worst fucking division right alongside light heavyweight in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I got in the trash. Then I've got some shit that I've got, on the fence. Some contender fights in the one contender. Guram Kutateladze. He's my contender for this card. He's always exciting. The dude's tough as fucking nails, but he's had some weak moments in the UFC, even in his last fight. As excited as I am to see that Jordan Vucinic kid again this weekend, he had a nice debut going in there and putting on a fight like he had against Guram on short notice. Guram, I feel like, gives up way too many opportunities. He's pretty talented, and he's not getting finishes. He's not putting dudes away. He's getting into scraps, bar brawls, and wars. And he's got the ability to do better than that, in my opinion. So he's on the fence. Does he go out there and just blow away this kid that's done okay? He's been 1-1 so far in his first couple fights in the UFC. Or does the same situation, another young kid, and he just, takes it to the distance, goes to a battle. We'll see. You got two fights on the fence for me. The Gunnar Nelson Kevin Holland fight. It's got the potential to be exciting as hell, in my opinion. Just like Kevin Holland, he has had potential. He's been fun. Lately, he's been getting his ass whooped. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Gunnar Nelson, he's not very active. So, this fight could be extremely boring, but at the same time, I feel like it could be exciting as hell. Both of them have great grappling abilities. Gunnar Nelson ain't shy on the fucking feet either, and he's going to have the crowd behind him, so it's got the potential to be a banger. But yeah, it's kind of on the fence for me here. And then you got Blachowicz and Ulberg. Ulberg's on a 7-fight win streak. Dude's been knocking people out. But his last fight against Ozdemir, he goes to decision. So competition gets stepped up just a little bit. Ozdemir's no spring chicken, and he's not the greatest fighter in the world either. Same situation he's stepping into against Jan Blachowicz, but Blachowicz does have the grappling, and he is a former champion. He's also said that he had that shoulder injury that he's been out with, that he had to get the surgeries with. He's had that ever since Izzy. Ever since he fought Izzy, when Izzy tried to move up. So for years, he just fought with fucking shoulder injuries and just tried to tough through it. Finally got that fixed. So even if he's been out for 2 years, who knows? Might have a different set of Polish power. Even, this is the last thing to go with age. Who knows? That's why I'm putting it on the fence. Could be a fun fight between him and Ulberg. Could see one of them finish each other. But just like I mentioned about the heavyweight division, this division's kind of shit. And you get to see those walrus slappy kind of fights quite often, no different. If Jan just grapples his way to victory, it's going to be a boring one. Shit I'm excited for, though, I mentioned Mick Parkin. You've got Nate Wood, man. I'm excited for that fight against Morgan Sharir, but I'm more excited for Nate Wood. I think Nate Wood's going to get this win. Both of these kids are former contender or Cage Warriors champions. So they could have met down the road before. Now they're meeting here. It's an exciting fight. I've got the Chris Duncan and Jordan Vucinic fight. That's possibly fight of the night. Like Vincent's the most excited for it. I'm pretty excited for it too. He loves Chris Duncan. I think Chris Duncan's a tough motherfucker. He's got some knockout power. The Vucinic kid fucking went to war with Kutaladze in his fucking debut on short notice. Now he's got time to train for a fight. So I'm excited to see how that one goes. You got the other Duncan, Christian Leroy Duncan. Excited to see how he bounces back. He's lost a couple, losing a decision to RoboCop in his last one. It's nothing to bat an eye at. The kid's been decent and exciting. He's still young too, 29 years old. Only got the couple losses in the career. So excited to see if he bounces back. You got Chris Padilla. I like Taco winning his first couple fights so far by knockout in the UFC. Another dude that's pretty fucking young. Excited to see what he does in this third go. You got the main event, man. I am excited to see how the main event goes. I think Brady's the contender here. He goes out and just dominates Leon Edwards like Bilal did, or fucking gets a submission, gets that finish. It's going to put him in a decent situation. Not really championship contender yet, but still true contender at that point. Leon's already got the number one fucking ranking. So if he knocks this up and coming kid out that's only got the one loss to Bilal, it doesn't put him in the spot to get the next title shot, but it keeps him in that situation like Max Holloway had been in for years. You're at number one. You keep beating the guys that are trying to work their way up. He will eventually get another fucking shot. So, and I do think the fight as a whole, it's interesting. You know, can Sean Brady, it's a big disadvantage. Like, you don't see it a ton, but like Leon's height and shit, it's pretty sizable. Fucking Sean Brady's not a tall dude by any means, but he's athletic as fuck. Can he actually get the takedowns? Does Leon work some decent takedown defense? He had the couple decent fights against Kamaru and fucking Colby before he shat the bed last year against Bilal. We'll see how it goes. I'm interested in it. The other young kid, Lonier Kavanaugh, undefeated, 25 years old. Excited for that one as well. That's going to be a fun little flyweight scrap. That's probably it. Those are the fucking 4 fights I'm excited about. Those 3 groupings of young kids going at it in the main event. It's the best shit on the card. So hopefully Golftee doesn't shit on me too much for that. 4 fights. 4 fights that I'm saying are contenders. It's got a good chance to hopefully turn around and be like last week. I'm just being optimistic. Last week I was like, oh wow, we got 2 knockouts from 2 total shit fights. Like those 2 ladies, I was like, man, this is gonna fucking suck. I'm glad I didn't have shit to do and I actually tuned in. I saw some unexpected knockouts. May not see another ladies knockout the rest of this year.
You know, I wish I was as bright of a ray of sunshine as you can be. Unfortunately, I'm not an optimist. I'm a fucking realist. And this card really fucking sucks. This is back-to-back weeks where they're just force-feeding us shit. Look, I get it. You're in the O2 arena. Stuff all the English fucking European fighters down our throats you can. Give them their mandatory fucking, hey, here's your opportunity to fight. Contractual obligations. That's all it is. I will agree 100%. Molly McCann, Alexa Torina, or whatever the fuck her goddamn name is, doesn't matter. Fight as a whole can go in the trash. Shouldn't be on the fucking even main. It should be on the prelims. Molly hasn't earned that since her fucking last win, which has been quite some fucking time. I'm trying to find something nice to say about the prelims, but I just fucking can't. Let's look at the fucking heavyweights. How is Marcin Tybura still ranked number 8 in fucking heavyweights? That tells you the shit show that the division is in. Mick Parkin, yeah, he's new and up and coming, but he's got a ranking 2. How? He hasn't been in the UFC that long, and to be honest, he's not that great. Walrus slap fight. Useless for the division. The division itself is fucking dead because it's being held at the top because somebody is running like a scared little bunny. I have nothing nice to say about Christopher Leroy Duncan. I haven't liked him since he came into the UFC. I don't like him now. That's not going to change. The women's strawweight, Sean O'Bannon and Pooja Tamar. Don't care who wins that fight. I honestly don't. It's two people that will never fucking hold the belt in the women's strawweight division, nor will they get anywhere near the top. Cannon fodder, filling up a card. Who the fuck is Nathan Fletcher? And Lofgren, we already know, not what he was hyped up to be. He looks like a fucking he looks like he should be a poster child for fucking why your kids shouldn't drink while they're in the womb. Where's the good in this? You know, I feel like I need somebody telling me find the good. If nobody gets that reference, that's fine. It's okay. Nathaniel Wood, great, you're from England. You made it on the card. Whoopee, Morgan Charrier, or however the fuck you say that French name. Don't care. Both of them are going to equate to nothing in the featherweight division. The Scottish and the English going to war in the lightweight bout. Go figure. We've seen that in history before. No big deal. Didn't work out well for either one of them. Gunnar Nelson hasn't fought in almost 2 fucking years. Kevin Holland, you can tell he's just here for a fucking paycheck. If you listen to any of his interviews, I like Kevin Holland as a person. He's fucking hilarious. He does the right things outside of the octagon. Doesn't make an ass out of the fucking himself or the UFC. But, and that's a really big but, he's been getting his shit kicked in lately. Look, he had one of the best tears during the whole COVID lockdown thing. He made the UFC a better place then. His time to shine is over. I hope he does well. I hope his life turns out well. But unfortunately, he's not going to be that guy that we ever see get the title, which is kind of a bummer because he would be a hell of a funny ass fucking champ. You've got an old Blahovic who's coming in off of fucking shoulder surgery recovery versus a Carlos Ulberg who I still haven't been able to stand since he came into the UFC. I don't care if he's coming from City Kickboxing or not. I haven't liked him since day one. I still think he's overhyped. We'll see if old Polish Power can still do anything. But Jan, former champion, to his credit, but has looked like shit his last couple outings. To his credit, though, he went to a draw with the current champ in Ankalaev. If Carlos Ulberg cannot definitively put away Blahovic, he'll never see a title. Leon Edwards, Sean Brady. The one guy who you thought would never have a fucking title in the first place now doesn't have it anymore. Thank fucking Christ. I'm not even fucking in the slightest bit any sort of godly man or anything of that nature. I'm no Christian. I'm not Bible thumping, none of that. But thank God Edwards doesn't have the belt. Are you guys fully aware that Leon Edwards has only won one round 5 in his entire UFC career? Only fucking one. That includes when he fought fucking Diaz. All Sean Brady has to do is win 2 rounds before the 5th round, and he wins this fight. Because Leon Edwards will shit the bed in the 5th. He's only won round 5. Sean can win 2 other of those. Leon Edwards falls right back down the pipe. Brady, he's looked all right. He's the only person on here that I would say is a contender. I can't call him a contender because, to be honest, I don't think he's that great either. But as a whole, this fucking card is so fucking washed out that I'm not excited about it. This is 2 weeks in a row where I might skip watching this just for the fact of there's got to be something better on fucking TV than this card. Shit. I might go out and fucking drink instead. Maybe I'll see how many views I can pull having a Saturday drinking show rather than fucking this. To be honest, this is a travesty that we're getting such bad cards these last week, this week, and next week. Can we get a decent card? Just one. I want to be the guy who says there is plenty of good to come off of a card. But they're forcing my fucking hand here. Stop forcing my hand. I want to be the nice guy. I want to be the Christian of this group right now. But I fucking can't. Fucking trash. You keep being the good, push the good, this is fucking garbage. I want to be the nice guy, but I fucking can't. Stop feeding me shit.
Yeah. I will put it this way. London is a double-edged sword for the UFC, particularly this London card. On one hand, they are absolutely bringing in a metric fuck ton of their young and up and coming UK regional fighters. There's folks, like you said, folks from Ireland, folks from England. I think there's a couple of Welsh fighters on here. I know there's a couple of fighters from Scotland on here. The whole UK region is being fairly well represented on this card. The problem is that the representation they're giving is not great. Yes, they are bringing in people from all over the place, but they're bringing in like B tier people from all over the place. So it's like, we say it all the time. You can only polish that turd so much, and then you just got a really shiny turd. This is absolutely a really shiny turd. They have done everything they can to make this motherfucker gleam, high contrast for 4K promo shots. But at the end of the day, it's still a turd. This is, like I said it in the fucking description, we are smack dab in the middle of a back-to-back-to-back-to-back hangover card stretch that the UFC is showing us exactly how little they are worried about the fans sticking around, because they're not even trying to build. At one point in time, UFC prelims pretty much always sucked, but every main card, you could bet your last fucking penny that main card was built to fucking break. And it usually did. Even if the prelims sucked start to finish, the main cards used to always at least give us something to tune in for. We're not at that point anymore with the UFC. There are absolutely still some fights on this card that are very potentially interesting. I agree with Christian. I am so fucking curious what the hell Guram Kutateladze is going to be able to pull off after being lost in the fucking woodwork for so goddamn long. But it's not like they're giving him a real strong test in Fernandez either. So yes and no, double edge here. Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tumar, like, that fight belongs on an Apex card. That fight would be relevant, premier prelim even, on an Apex card. In the O2 Arena, it's just another prelim match that's going to get outshined by the matches around it. And that's not saying a whole lot, because those aren't going to be that great to begin with either. Loner Kavanaugh versus Felipe Dos Santos. Again, Put that in fucking Vegas. Put that in an Apex card. This is just filling a slot in a London card that you could have brought in any one of a dozen other fighters to make it much more interesting here. I can't say that I'm genuinely excited about it, but I don't understand why they don't have Nathaniel Woods versus Morgan Chartier in that premier prelim spot. Both of those names are so much bigger in England than Chris Duncan or Vucinic. That fight might still be fun, but the pop that they're wanting to get will come more from that Nathaniel Woods Chartier fight. I'm telling you right now. The Molly McCann fight has me interested. I'm not sure if Alexia Tianara is what she's presenting herself to be, but if she is, she's about to potentially make herself a very looked at name in the lady side of the UFC. If she trips over her lady flaps walking to the cage and she lets Molly McCann beat her ass after taking the short notice fight and then talking shit publicly about it, we're never going to see her again. They're going to send her directly back to fucking LFA or wherever they picked her up from. She's one and done. I'll put my fucking last penny on it. The Gunnar Nelson and Kevin Holland fight has me cautiously optimistic. Kevin Holland doesn't understand how to be in a boring fight. Even if he's losing, he doesn't understand how to be in a boring fight. He actively tries start to finish. There is always that. But Gunnar Nelson is in this weird point where at one point in his career, he was the hottest motherfucker coming out of the UK. And then he started taking a lot of time off in between fights. And then he started getting hurt in his fights and having to take even longer time off between fights. And now it's been almost 3 years since we've seen him. And when he did an interview this week, he said flat out, it's not that he's been out of the cage because he was injured or because he didn't want to fight. He actually tried to get on the December pay-per-view card. They just couldn't find a matchup for him. He's been out so long because he's spending all of his time coaching instead of training. I'll always tip my cap to a guy, especially an active ranked fighter who is taking time out of his life to try and help other guys coming up. But there comes a point where you have to decide if you want to make something out of your fighting career or you want to make something out of your coaching career, because you cannot do both, not at the top level. It's just not fucking possible. You can either be a great fighter or you can be a great coach, but you can't do both at the same time when you get to the peak. Being in the UFC, being on a main card, being the, people's co-main event is a top fucking spot in the UFC. And you can't stay in that kind of spot unless you are committed to your craft. Tip of the cap for coaching, but we saw it with Alex Morono just not that long ago. You could be the greatest coach in the world, but if you're spending more time coaching others than you are working on your skills, when you get in for your fight, your ass is going to get kicked because of it, and it will show. I'm a little worried that's exactly what we're going to see with Gunnar Nelson here. Gunnar Nelson was always very great, very capable on the feet, on the ground, very well-rounded. But I don't care how many times Dominic says, I don't believe it. Ring rust is real. And if you spend more time in the coaching booth than you do in the sauna and in the training room yourself, it's going to reflect it. A guy like Kevin Holland is the type of guy to show you exactly how much time you spent not training. Co-main event's very interesting. Is Jan's new shoulder going to bring us the old Polish power back? Or is he worse for wear because of the surgery? We've seen so many fucking fighters at the top level. You can be fucking great one day. You have a single surgery that's supposed to be perfect and smooth, and you never come back to where you were before. Shoulders are one of those fucking injuries. If that shoulder doesn't heal 100% like it was, you will never be the fighter that you were, and it will only get worse from here. Olberg is far, far from a world breaker, but he's a fairly confident fighter. He's a fairly intellectual fighter. He's not the dumbass he was when he first got here. He's not anywhere near even talking about the title, but he's not the dipshit that they brought him in as the hot guy from City Kickboxing used to be. He's turning into a fighter. Is he enough of a fighter to get past whatever we're going to see of Jan Blachowicz on Saturday, especially in a co-main event? I don't know. I really don't. I'm curious. I think there's potential for that fight to be informative. Maybe not the most exciting fight of the night, but it's going to be informative about the 205 division going forward in Jan's future. But as much as I have to say that, I'm still more excited for the co-main event than I am for the main event. I don't agree with Sean Brady getting a jump this high up in the fucking rankings because Sean Brady is, if nothing else, spectacular at falling ass first into victory, stumbling out of defeat. He's not that fucking good. I'll say it if nobody else will. He's not that fucking good. He's not a can. I'll give him that. He's not full can status, but he's not nearly as good as he and some others seem to think that he is. I know that Leon's far from a world breaker himself, but he earned his way to the belt. He earned his spot as the champion. We'll see if he can make his way back to it now that the hard part really happens, but he actually earned his way there. Most of Brady's hype giving, I guess would be the best way to put it. Most of Brady's hype giving fights weren't that fucking impressive. Both the fucking fight itself and the opponent. Leon had to go through the fucking trenches, man. We've seen Leon be tested. He's far from my favorite fighter, but I give credit where credit is due. And that man walked through a field of fucking tacks to smell a rose. And he didn't get to smell it that goddamn long. And they're doing everything they can to get him back away from that fucking rose a second chance. And he's still walking over goddamn tacks with a smile on his face for it. So I have respect for Leon Edwards. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a fighter, but I have respect for Leon Edwards. Sean Brady hasn't shown me a goddamn thing. Not enough to be here, not enough even with a win to be in the conversation. Can he actually do something this weekend to change my mind? We'll find out. I'm going in skeptical. I'm not even trying to be fucking coy about it. I don't think Sean Brady has what it takes to finish Leon Edwards. He might be able to survive 25 minutes with him, but I don't think he can finish Leon. And if he can't finish Leon definitively, leave no fucking questions before midway of the second round, before the third round bell rings. I'll say that. Before the end of the third round, if he can't put Leon to fucking sleep in London, leave no fucking questions, this is as high as Sean Brady's career will ever fucking go. I'm pretty confident Leon's going to be able to put Brady away. I don't know how it's going to happen yet. I just think Leon is more well-rounded and well-rounded enough. He can stop Sean Brady. I don't think it goes the other way around. But I'm going to watch. I'm here to find out. That's all I got. My bad.
No, you're all good. Appreciate you guys. I'll keep trying to be like AK Lee, man. I always try to find the positive moments.
Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. So that'll bring us to the point in the show where the only segment we have actually requires its own individual disclaimer. So if you will, Tapology.com does not in any way, shape, or form support, sponsor, or endorse the I'm No Joe podcast. Yet. That being said, Tapology.com does give you the option to go onto their website, create a free account, and make fantasy-style MMA picks like we do here on the show. They even let you make groups on there, so we made one. It's called ImNoBookie, all one word, or Group 965, however you need to find it. The group is open to the public. You are welcome and encouraged. Make yourself an account, join the group, and let us know who you are so we can hold your picks accountable with our picks in the segment we call Tapology with TJ.
All right. I'm going to let you guys in on a tad bit of a secret here. We're going to talk about last week. A shit card deserves shit results. And I did what I thought was right. And by that, I mean, I made picks during the middle of my fundraising show that we did on Saturday. So I wasn't paying attention because I honestly didn't care. Which means I pulled my dick out, stomped on it, while making up tasty mixes and getting donations for bicycles for kids. I took that bottom spot with 5 of 13 correct, and I'm fucking proud of it because fuck that card. Yes, I know that's going to hurt my standings in the Grand Prix. Don't give a flying fuck. 0 fucks given. We'll be back this week. Probably still won't care. In fact, I might throw on purpose. Because you know why? Fuck it. Now, on the opposite side of this here, I do have to say, unfortunately, my boy Don doesn't have his picks in our group that would normally be following, but he fucking blew it out of the goddamn water this last week. He was number 2 in all of Tapology, sitting at 11 to 13 correct, fucking 745 points. Now, the caveat to that statement is he's not in the ImNoBookie group with that specific username. So, pat on the back this week. Attaboy goes to Vindog the Booty Hog. 9 of 11 correct, 665 points in our group, taking the top spot. Congratulations, Vinny. You did fucking excellent. Keep up the good fucking solid work. Now, there's one more caveat that goes along with all of that. We're throwing caveat out left and right here. Don, with his amazing fucking pick last week, catapulted his ass into the top spot in the Grand Prix because he's in the fucking Grand Prix. But he catapulted himself all the way to the top spot, sitting at 1,440 points. Vindog not far behind him, sitting at 1,320. Donna sitting at 1,310. Lucas sitting in that middle of the pack spot, number 4 at 1,165. Me, because I threw so fucking bad, coming down to the 5th spot in 1,160. And you got Meters sitting at 1105, and Christian has just been running the shits there with the 1020 at the bottom spot. Christian, you know what that is? You spend too much time looking for the good in people and not enough time actually making good picks the rest of the time. I'm just saying. We might want to rethink about who we think are good and who we think aren't, what cards are great, and, trying to find them diamonds in the rough. Let's worry about our picks there, buddy. Let's get that shit together over there. Now, with all of the nonsense being said there, we do have 4 events left, including this weekend's, leading up to UFC 314 on April 12th. So there's plenty of time for everyone to come back. Maybe not look for the good, but look for the right picks. And we'll check in with everyone next week after we see where all of that goes. Now, as far as odds are concerned this week, nothing super fucking exciting. I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass. It's a lot of coin flips. I'll cover the ones that are fairly wide here just so you've got them. Got Graham and fucking Kaua. Kula's coming in as a plus fucking 340 underdog. Garam a minus 440. So the hometown guy is getting a heavy favorite in that, albeit he does shit the bed quite often. Not necessarily the greatest pick. Might be time that you throw a pick the opposite way. Felipe Dos Santos and Kavanaugh there. Kavanaugh coming in as a minus 330 favorite. Felipe Dos Santos is a plus 260 underdog. Not great, not terrible, but they're fairly wide. Next set of wider odds on the card here. Me coming into Chris Duncan and Jordan Vinicius or Vicenzi. I don't fucking know. Don't care. Because it doesn't fucking matter. Jordan's coming in as a minus 420. Chris Duncan coming in as a plus 320 underdog. Huh. Weird. Oh, next one here we're going to cover is going to be the widest odds on the card, which is going to be Christian Leroy Duncan and Andre Plyev. They got Plyev coming in as a plus 400 underdog. Leroy Duncan as a minus 550 favorite. Again, I don't think it's right because, well, I don't think Leroy Duncan is that fucking good. But, you know, fuck do I know? I'm just some random guy off the street. As usual, we'll cover the co-main main. Pretty much everything else on the card is coin flips, so I'm not going to cover them. The co-main event in Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Olberg. They've got Blachowicz coming in as the underdog in this as a plus 240 underdog, which, to be fair, is coming off shoulder surgery. But they've got Olberg coming in as a favorite as a minus 300. I think those odds are a little wider than they should be, but, you know, there is the whole fact that Jan coming in post-surgery, and we'll see how he reacts to having the surgery and all that. For the most lackluster main event that you could come up with this week here, Leon Edwards and Sean Brady. I've got Sean Brady coming in as a slight favorite as a minus 165 over Leon Edwards and a plus 140 underdog. Pretty close to a coin flip. Understandably so. But as a whole, the card fucking sucks. There's a reason why most of these are coin flips, and there's only a few that have a little bit wider odds. However, to the fucking credit of the matchmakers at the UFC, if they're coin flips, that means they're doing a fairly good job of fucking setting matchups. Now, does that mean they're exciting matchups or that it's a good card? Absolutely fucking not. It's another waste of 6 hours of your time that you could be doing something else. I'll put that out there. Now, I understand that when I'm getting all these odds, the odds are free. You can go and find them. There are other free things too, like Tapology. Tapology is free. I know you bastards like free shit. That's why you're listening to us for free on YouTube or your streaming platform of choice a week later than our live show. Come over to Tapology, make an account, absolutely free. Also, you know what's free? To join our group. ImNoBookie, group 965. Absolutely fucking free. We're not going to charge you to join. You just join. If you want to let us know who you are, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But like I said, if I recognize your screen name, I'm fucking calling your ass out when you're shit in the bed. And then because you didn't want to tell us, I'm not going to tell you when you do good. I'm just going to say you shit the bed again. So if you're going to join and try to do it with any sort of amnesty, you need to fucking change your screen name so I don't know what it is. That's all I got this week. Hopefully next week there's something better, or I feel better about talking about some of this shit, because this is some repetitive bullshit. It feels like fucking Groundhog's Day. In fact, this is the definition of insanity. We're doing the same thing week in and week out and expecting a different fucking result. UFC, get it together. Give us some sort of decent fucking card.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. So, with that being said, that is all we have got for this particular episode here. But when we wrap things up around here, that is not the end of the fun, because tomorrow morning and pretty much every Friday, you can catch that gentleman. Wait, no, that gentleman and his other half dropping their podcast, the Slow Bake and Contemplate podcast, over there on Spreaker.com. Links to their podcast and their social media and their channel over on the ImNoJo Discord server, all down below. Go click on them and tell them how awesome they are.
Appreciate you, brother. The fun never fucking stops there. If you missed it the other night on Wednesday, you got to check it out next Wednesday around the same time we do this podcast on Golftee Vape's YouTube channel. Tune into the Foggy Fairway. If you're into the vapes, you ever want to learn some new mixes or recipes, or you just want to pop in and show the brother some love. On top of running the Tapology, he does a lot of other shit, so make sure you check it out. All of his stuff should be in the description below as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Now, because there is going to be a lot of free time this weekend due to a very lackluster card, I want you guys to know the meter does many things. Way more than just this. In fact, little birdie told me there recently was some new stuff put out on one of the other things that the meter does do. Be able to find those, you just go down below. Linktree / the meter does many things, or Linktree / ImNoJoe. That will take you to each and every one of the many things that the meter does do. So, in closing, if this card is so fucking bad, go find out all of the many things that the meter does do. You'll get way more entertainment out of that than you will out of the card this weekend.
Much appreciated, sir. So with that being said, that is all we have got for this particular episode. If you are new here, first and foremost, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you. We do this show pretty much every Thursday night around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time-ish over on youtube.com/ImNoJoe. Replay stays up live so you can catch it whenever you like. But if you don't want to watch it, I understand. I also own mirrors. And for that reason, the week after we go live, I put the podcast up in all audio format over on anchor.fm/ImNoJoe. You can pick it up to your podcast consumption platform of choice, Google, Spotify, Apple, you name it. We are everywhere. You can get it there for free as well. That being said, if you like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, please make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on whatever platform you're picking this up on. If you'd like to help out what we do around here, best way to do that, patreon.com/ImNoJoe. For as little as $1 a month, you get to help us do what we do. And in exchange for that gracious support, we first and foremost put your name at the end of every broadcast on this channel to let everyone know how awesome you are in supporting us. But more than that, we give you unrestricted access to the behind the scenes and the unaired content the ImNoJoe channel has produced. And let me tell you, it's fun. If you don't want to give us a buck, we understand that as well. We do this for free pretty much every week, just the same. But if you like it, make sure you tune in, make sure you're subscribed, and maybe tell a friend. Help us grow the damn thing. The other side of that coin, though, if you don't like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, what the fuck are you still doing this deep into a podcast you didn't enjoy? Give us a thumbs down and then go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, that's all we've got for this particular episode. So until next time, boys and girls, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times.